Okay, fellettes, one of my projects around here. I'm fixing to flip the camera around. I just wanted to start right here with this. This is more ludicrous stuff, 1968. I'm Chris of the Ludicrous. Anyway, I did just put a majority of, this is not the project that I'm intending for this video to be on, but I did finally get some galvanized bolts through here. Got some temporary ones down there on the end. I've got to get my stick up here because I can't walk without it too good. There's a piece there going all the way across. Got to get screws in that one, and then some in the middle between that one and this one, and then in between this one and that one to get full support on it. But that's just one of the projects going on. What I came down here for is this big old carport, and I'm looking for suggestions. It's a real tall one. There's my truck, so that kind of references one of my trucks. The height, I believe this thing was built for the previous owner to put a camper underneath it or some kind of equipment, whatever. I'm not particularly thrilled with the lacking of the size of post they put up. They're 4x4 post. I think they're a little skinny personally, but at the same time, for the argument's sake of it, this thing has stood the test of time because it's been here a while and it's still up. I've got to redo cross members because I don't like the way they're put up there. They should be nailed in on the side, or at least a, see if I can get my finger, well, I can do it right here. At the very least, up there, nail the board. Now let's do it on this side. Nail the board here. Oops. Nail the board here. Possibly here. Nailed here, nailed there. Sorry, my camera is not, my footing is not great. But as you can see in a lot of places, that board has got to go. A lot of boards like that, but that one's not quite as structural. That's got to go. But one of my other things is, now this goes all the way back here, and if you zoom in on the back corners, those are poles, and I still think they're too skinny. It's got bracing that probably has kept it from crumbling if I had my guess. This whole little thing here, and it's got storage that the bottom board did break on already. I don't even know that I'm going to keep that extra section. But this part's not too terrible bad for fixing. Obviously it broke off a little, and this whole platform would not be here. Let me come back to the driveway again and show you, if I didn't catch it already because I wasn't thinking about it a minute ago. This whole thing's on a hill, and the camera is not catching the steep of the hill, of course, never does. But that corner down there is a mess. I need retaining wall, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to go about building it. I would be glad to get some pointers on that as well. We just don't have all kind of money, if you know what I mean. But there's just a lot of the construction part of it that's, especially the top, tough to get to that tall, especially when you can't walk any better than I do. But there's about 12.5 feet from that pole to that pole, and then subsequently between those two. And then of course you got that whole back that the way the rafters are done, or whatever those things are called, because I know there's two different names, It's okay for free spanning, but I would really rather have a support in the middle. And as I understand it, there's not supposed to be but 6 feet between them. It doesn't take a lot of weight, it's just the roof, and if it hadn't been for this roof, this platform would have been washed out already. So I know I need one there, one in between there, same on the other side. Another one of the interesting parts of the construction of this thing is right there, and that little piece right there is completely across. That's not just etched out, it's there. That board right there is doing quite a bit, I'm sure. I'm not sure whether to put a post in there and just come all the way up and repair all of that wood, or come up to a whatever height is normal, reasonable for the average carport, like that one in the middle there, right there, and then kind of put a roof under this one, and then eventually make it where I can climb up a little better with that and just tear that roof off. Or it'll be better off to just fix it in place. One of the issues is I walk with two usually, but I can't walk with two and have the camera in my hand. That's expensive to bring somebody in to fix. Of course, if I don't get a retaining wall up and get those bad spots fixed, eventually this thing will come crumbling down. One other theory I have, and I am absolutely open to other theories, I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. And that middle post, right? You got that post, that corner post, because that one is of this outside rack. It's not under the roof. And then this piece of wood is not connected, and it's not doing a doggone thing. But one other thought I do have is coming wherever I can get safely within this caving flooring, and putting, I mean, it's got to have another upright on it anyway. And then figuring out a good way to I'm thinking maybe even put something at the very bottom of that, which is about probably I'm guessing 6 to 8 foot down from right there at those two loose boards you're looking at, all the way to the bottom down there on the other side of the green, as you see it right there. That's about the bottom. The whole thing's a hill, it doesn't flatten out, but put some 6x6 post in the ground, and then maybe lay cross ties on it all the way up to the edge, and maybe even put some long rebar or something through that. It's not holding a ton of weight, it's just keeping things in place. And this ground has been here long enough that it might as well have been here to begin with, and it was not, because there's no other place like this. It was definitely built on the hillside. So whatever suggestions y'all got, I am absolutely open to them. I will try my best to let you know what I do, being that this is a this, that, and the other channel. And I will be glad to to video even my goofy stuff that I'm bound to get into, because that's just kind of there's another board right there that's breaking under the weight of the leaves that are on top and weighing down. And right now I have no access to it. I can't get up there. That's one of the other things I want to do with this, is within the structure build something stout enough of stairs or steps or whatever that I can get up there and get all that cleaned off. If it wasn't for the leaves, that wouldn't be broke. And actually the one right below it's broke too. Anyway, let me know what you think. I am going to add one little cherry on top on this one, this truck. And yes, the frame is warped on the front, but the tires run true. Front end guy was able to establish that. Bought the truck as it sits. I have no idea what happened. But I did just put new brake pads on the front of this one. The issue is, and this part I just needed to get the truck on the road. This one I will try to remember to video and post, and then y'all can tell me if there's better ways to do what I'm doing there too. But this side, I've got a sticking caliper, and actually the boot, I think, is, for lack of a better term, the caliper is not the little ring that goes around, but the boot has a torn place on it, and I think that's what's sticking. It wasn't quite so bad on the sticking until I put new pads on it, and then it's got more meat on the new pads and not enough room for that sticking, so it's kind of working toward probably a crooked self-clearing, quote unquote, because the front tires, being that most of the braking is on the front tires, it's a 2-piston caliper, where it's only a 1-piston caliper on the back, and it's only one of the 2-piston calipers that has that tear, and that's, I'm satisfied, is what's making it quote unquote stick. I'll try to remember the video at that point. Anyway, that's all for this. Just let me know what you think.